We're with Joel Farabee on Flyers Breakup Day. Joel, what's going on?
Not much.
I love the bucket. You got a great big Phillies hat on.
Yeah, it's Phillies season, man.
You a big baseball fan?
Oh, I love the Phillies, man. It's probably my biggest, probably their biggest fan, honestly, in terms of like other sports and things like that. I root for the Phillies so much.
Good to be in a pro market, playing your pro career with other, a 4-for-4 town.
Yeah,
all the majors.
I was all here basically all last summer. I was able to go to like 12, 15 games, so it was pretty cool.
And to go to the World Series last year. When you see them go to the World Series and the Eagles go to the Super Bowl, you guys want to get in on that action, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you just see how alive the city comes when the teams are in the playoffs and things like that. So obviously we got a lot of work to do to get there, but I think it's one of the best cities to play in terms of fans. So I think if we keep pushing, we get in there, it's going to be a lot of fun around here.
How you feel physically after a full 82 games coming off that surgery in late June?
Yeah, I feel great, honestly. Definitely excited to get in the gym and start my off-season workouts. But body feels good. Honestly, no complaints.
You surprised you played all 82 after coming off of surgery?
Little surprised. I mean, I obviously was a little lighter than most seasons, but I felt good and had really no complaints. Obviously, couple bumps and bruises along the way, just like everyone else. But it's pretty cool to play my first full 82 game season.
How big is it for you to have the success you had at the end of the season from a statistical standpoint?
Yeah, it definitely gets my confidence going a little bit going into next year. Obviously I would have liked to produce a lot more than I did, but I feel like the last month of the season I really started to feel like myself again in terms of playing, and I think with a good off season come in ready to go next year, I think it's gonna really help me out.
Did you really get like a nose for the net towards the end of the year? You had the 4-game goal streak, and I think collectively you were about 15 feet combined from the net on all of those. Is that just going to the right spot?
Yeah, just trying to find room in front of the net. Obviously, a couple tips, a couple lucky bounces, but that's where goals are scored nowadays. So you just try and get to the right areas, try and be in a good spot for your teammates, and obviously during that you're thankful the puck starts going in, and I think since then I started to really feel good about my game.
Having JVR on the team, you mentioned tipping pucks. Is that something, like, you see how good he is? It's ridiculous how good he is at that. Him and Joe Pavelski are like the two best at it. Is that something you see what he does and try and work on? Ask him for any pointers on tipping pucks, either on the ice or off?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked a lot with him just after practice and things like that, tipping. But even if you just watch him, like, whether it's power play or whatnot, how he gets to that spot before he tips it, I think is really remarkable about James. He kind of waits till the last second to move into the space, and then he tips it. It's kind of, and I think Pavelski does that a lot too. So that's something I've kind of tried to figure out is, when to spin off a guy to get ready for that, and do a lot of that stuff. I think and James has made a career and a living doing that.
Yeah, getting those goals in tight. Such great hands. Talk about you've been in the league a while now. The evolution of your game. What do you kind of want to add to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I'd really like to score a few more goals. I think I could. I'd like to get into that 25, 30 goal range. I feel like, at times I've shown I can do it. And, I think, like I keep saying, with a good off season, I think getting a little stronger, I think it's really going to help me out in that sense. So, I'd like to produce a lot more for the team. And, when you do that, you win more games. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to this summer.
Yeah, I think you can do that. You had the 20 and the 55 game season that one year after, I guess that was the shortened season, the 56 gamer. The young guys on this team, there's a core that's developing pretty pronounced, as this team moves forward and what they're terming a rebuild. To be a part of that with, guys like Noah Cates and Morgan Frost and Owen Tippett and Cam York and all the young guys, there's a camaraderie that comes along with that. How's the room been this year with the young guys kind of really grabbing a big piece of this?
Yeah, I think it's been great. I think a lot of guys showed what they can really do in this league, and I think just looking at Tippy and Frosty, they've really showed they can take over games and win games themselves. So you look at the really good teams in the league, whether it's Colorado, Tampa. You kind of can go down the list. Their core's been there for a while, and they've played together. X amount of games together. So I feel like you really build that chemistry throughout a season, but over a couple of years, you really start to build on things. And I think with this young core, I think we really got a good thing going here.
And you guys can rely on each other as well and be a huge support system for each other as this thing kind of re-rises, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm still a pretty young guy, but having just a few more games than some of the other younger guys, I feel like we got a really good thing going in terms of talking things out and what to expect from each other and pushing each other to be better every day. So I think you do that over a couple seasons. It's it usually works out in the long run.
I know a lot of the guys in their media availability talked about the mentality coming into next year, and hopefully you get Sean Couturier back and Cam Atkinson back, which would be huge support, obviously. But the mentality throughout the summer in training to come back next year, people say rebuild, it's going to take X amount of time. Things change really quickly in this league. But how do you approach it from a mental standpoint coming into next year?
Yeah, I think for us, and I was just talking about it with somebody else, I think our mindset's got to be that we can't go into games hoping not to lose. I think it's got to be that we're going to go out there and we're a better team than they are, and have that mindset that we're going to win this, and you're not hope anything's going to happen and dip our toes in the water. I think you just got to go. You got to take a dive in and just go all out. And I think our team's built to do that. I feel like we have a lot of speed now, can make a lot of plays, and we're only getting better. And obviously we're so young, so I feel like we have a lot to prove next season. And I think with everyone having that mindset going into the summer, I think it's really going to help us in camp, and then move on from there.
And the other thing too is the know that everybody on the team is going to outwork the other team. That's something you can control. Like hockey's a game of mistakes and bounces, and it's a vulcanized piece of rubber on ice. But if you outwork the opponent, that's going to help you out even more.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think hard work's got to be the first thing, but then once you have that, you add all the skill we have and the ability to make plays and win games. I think you're able to showcase that, and I think you get on a run here. You have a good first half of the season, and who knows, you can carry on, and then it's all about just getting into the playoffs. And once you get in, then anything can happen.
Yeah, position yourself. What do you got on tap for the summer? How are you going to unwind?
Yeah, definitely just go home, see some family and friends, play some golf, chill out for a little bit, and then right in the gym, and let's get right back into it.
It's going to be nice not to be interrupted with a surgery in June, right?
Yeah, that'd be real nice.
Did you talk to Cam at all about his surgery prior to having it and what you went through? I know they're different procedures, but...
Yeah, I mean, we for sure talked a lot about it. I think some of the symptoms we had were very similar. Few things were very different, though. I think for him, it's it's just being smart, and obviously he tried to come back without getting surgery, which is just never easy. And then once you get the surgery, it's a long recovery process. But I think with him and even Coots, we get those guys back and healthy, and you add our young guys into the mix. I think our offense is really going to take off here.
Yeah, no question. Joel, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it as always. You're a guy I tend to lean on to talk to me a bunch of times through the year, so I appreciate it. Have a great summer, great training, and we'll talk in the fall.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.